Commander Jack Mercer stood at the viewport of the asterisk Helios asterisk, watching distant stars glimmer against the endless black. The Deep Space Research Vessel had been his home for 3 years now, exploring the boundaries of human-charted territory. Their mission was simple: push further, learn more, find anything of interest in the vast emptiness. "Commander, you should see this." Olivia Grant's voice came through his communicator, breaking his moment of contemplation. He found her in the sensor lab, her face illuminated by screens displaying wave patterns he didn't recognize. Olivia was the best science officer in the fleet, brilliant, methodical, and never prone to excitement without cause. "What am I looking at?" he asked, leaning over her shoulder. "A signal. Unlike anything in our database." She pointed to a repeating pattern. "It's artificial, no question. But it's not coming from any known source." Jack felt a familiar tingle of discovery. "Location. That's the interesting part." She pulled up a star chart. "It's coming from just beyond the Arcturus reach. No mapped planets, no known outposts." "How far?" 2 weeks at maximum drive." Jack nodded slowly. "Alert the crew. We're changing course." Within hours, the asterisk Helios asterisk adjusted its trajectory toward the mysterious signal. The 80-person crew buzzed with speculation. In the mess hall, Jack overheard debates about everything from lost human colonies to equipment malfunctions. "My money's on space junk," said Nathan Cole, the ship's chief engineer. "Some old probe tumbling around, broadcasting garbage." "Garbage doesn't broadcast in perfectly timed intervals," replied Samantha Wright, communications specialist. "And it's not using any human encryption protocols." 2 weeks passed. As they approached the source, the signal grew stronger. Jack called his senior staff to the bridge. "Sensors are picking up a small object," Olivia reported. "About 20 meters in diameter. Definitely artificial." Jack leaned forward in his chair. "Put it on screen." The object appeared. A dark, geometric structure covered in unfamiliar markings. It rotated slowly, emitting pulses of light in sync with the signal. "My God," breathed Daniel Hayes, security chief. "It's not one of ours." "First contact," Samantha whispered, her eyes wide. Jack kept his voice steady. "Options. We could send a probe," Daniel suggested. "Safer than getting too close." "No," Jack decided. "This is too important. Prepare a shuttle. I'll lead the investigation team myself." Hours later, Jack floated beside the alien beacon, tethered to the shuttle where Olivia monitored his vital signs. Up close, the object was clearly ancient, its surface pitted with micrometeorite impacts, some sections damaged beyond recognition. "The material doesn't match anything in our database," Olivia said through his helmet comm. "And I'm detecting energy readings despite no visible power source." Jack carefully touched the surface. "There's something here, like a panel." He brushed away cosmic dust, revealing intricate symbols that began to glow at his touch. "Jack," Samantha's voice came through, tense with excitement. "The signal changed when you touched it. I think it's responding to you." Back aboard the asterisk Helios asterisk, Samantha worked tirelessly to decode the new signal. 3 days later, she called an emergency meeting. "Its coordinates," she explained, displaying a star map. "And a message, though much of it remains unclear. The clearest part translates roughly to 'Beware the void.'" "A warning?" Daniel asked. "Or a trap?" Olivia suggested. Jack studied the map. The coordinates pointed to a system far beyond any human exploration, at least 3 months' journey. "Whatever it is," he said finally, "someone went to extraordinary lengths to place this beacon, to send this message." He looked around at his crew. "I believe we need to find out why." Despite concerns from some crew members, Jack made his decision. The asterisk Helios asterisk would investigate. As they prepared for the longest human journey ever attempted, none of them could have imagined what waited at those coordinates, or how their discovery would change humanity's place in the galaxy forever. 3 months of travel through the emptiness of space had tested the crew of the Helios asterisk. They had passed beyond all previous human exploration, beyond the safety of charted routes and established communication relays. When they finally emerged at the coordinates from the alien beacon, a hush fell over the bridge. "Initial scan complete," Olivia said, breaking the silence. "It's a solar system, but dying." On the main screen, they saw an ancient red star, dim and swollen. Around it orbited 7 planets. Most were just lifeless rocks, too close to the failing sun. "Third planet shows atmosphere," Olivia continued. "Barely. The star's decline has nearly stripped it away." Jack leaned forward. "Is it habitable?" "Technically. Oxygen levels are low but survivable. Temperature is within human tolerance. But it's clear the planet is dying along with its star." "Any signs of civilization? Technology?" Olivia adjusted her sensors. "Yes, I'm detecting ruins, large structures, and energy readings, faint but present." "Someone's still down there?" Daniel asked. "Or something they built is still functioning," she replied. Jack made his decision quickly. "Prepare a landing team. Full environmental gear. We didn't come all this way to observe from orbit." The shuttle descended through thin clouds toward a landscape of gray and brown. Below them stretched a vast city, or what remained of one. Massive structures rose from the ground, their design unlike anything on Earth. Angular spires connected by sweeping bridges, buildings that seemed to defy gravity. "It's beautiful," Samantha whispered as they landed in what appeared to be a central plaza. The team stepped onto the alien world, their boots disturbing dust that might have lain undisturbed for centuries. The gravity was slightly lighter than Earth's, giving their movements an awkward bounce. "Spread out, but stay within sight of each other," Jack ordered. "Nathan, check those energy readings." Nathan Cole moved toward a structure that resembled a pyramid with its top third missing. He ran his scanner over symbols etched into its surface. "Commander, you should see this," he called after a few minutes. Inside the structure, they found a chamber filled with technology. Screens covered in alien script, devices that hummed faintly despite the apparent age of everything around them. "It's still powered," Nathan said, wonder in his voice. "After who knows how long." Olivia examined one of the largest screens. "These appear to be data archives. If I can interface our translator." It took hours, but Olivia managed to access the alien information. The crew gathered around as images appeared on the screen. Diagrams, equations, and recordings of the aliens themselves. They were tall, slender beings with 4 arms and skin that seemed to shimmer with an inner light. "They were physicists," Olivia explained, scrolling through the data. "Dimensional physicists. They were experimenting with. It's hard to translate exactly. The space between spaces. Like a parallel dimension," Jack asked. "More basic than that. They called it the void between realities. According to these records, they believed it contained unlimited energy." Nathan pointed to diagrams showing massive machines. "They built technology to access this void, to harness its power." But something went wrong. Olivia continued, her voice growing quieter as she translated more. "The experiments. They opened something they couldn't close. Their last entries speak of entities coming through from the void." Jack felt a chill run through him. "What kind of entities?" Olivia shook her head. "The records become fragmented here. There are references to consumption and dissolution. Whatever came through, it destroyed them quickly." As the sun began to set, casting long shadows through the ruined city, Jack looked at his team. Their faces showed the same realization he felt. They had found the reason for the warning beacon. "We need to learn everything we can," he said firmly. "And we need to be extremely careful." None of them realized they were being watched from the shadows of the ancient ruins. On the 5th day of exploration, the team ventured deeper into the ruins. They had mapped the central structures, and were now following the strongest energy readings to what appeared to be an underground facility. The entrance was hidden beneath fallen debris, which Nathan carefully cleared away with portable equipment. "These doors are sealed tight," he said, examining the massive metal barrier they discovered, "designed to keep something in or out." Jack studied the control panel beside the doors. "Can we get it open?" "I think so." Nathan connected his tools to the alien technology. "Their power systems are elegant, different from ours, but I'm starting to understand the principles." After an hour of careful work, the ancient doors groaned open. Stale air rushed out, carrying the smell of metal and something else, something organic. "Lights on," Jack ordered as they entered. "Stay close." The corridor led them downward, into what must have been a research facility. They passed laboratories with equipment still in place, as if the scientists had simply walked away mid-experiment. In some rooms, they found what looked like weapons, hastily manufactured, judging by their crude design compared to the elegant technology elsewhere. They were preparing for a fight, Daniel observed, examining one of the devices. Samantha stopped suddenly in front of a doorway. "I heard something." "From in there." The team froze, listening. A faint humming came from beyond the door, different from the background noise of the facility's power systems. "Could be machinery," Nathan suggested. "Or not," Daniel replied, moving his hand to his sidearm. The room beyond was circular, with a dozen transparent cylinders arranged around the walls. All were empty except one, which glowed with soft blue light. Inside floated a being, one of the aliens they had seen in the archives. "It's a stasis chamber," Olivia whispered, "and it's still functioning." The alien was tall and slender as they had expected, with 4 graceful arms and iridescent skin that seemed to shift colors even as they watched. Its eyes were closed, giving it a peaceful appearance. "Is it alive?" Jack asked. Olivia checked her readings. "Yes. Life signs are stable. This chamber has been preserving it, possibly for centuries." As they approached, the alien's eyes suddenly opened, 4 obsidian orbs that reflected their own shocked faces. It moved slightly within the fluid, placing one hand against the transparent wall. "It's awake," Samantha said, stepping closer. "Can it understand us?" The stasis fluid began to drain from the chamber. Panels slid open, and the alien stepped out, unsteady at first. It was taller than any human, nearly 8 feet in height. It regarded them with what might have been curiosity. Samantha activated her translation device and spoke slowly. "We are humans. We found your beacon. We come in peace." The alien made sounds, musical tones that rose and fell in complex patterns. The translator worked to process the language, finally producing rough approximations. "You should not be here," it said. "Danger remains." "We understand there was danger," Jack replied. "We want to learn, to help if we can." The alien seemed to consider this. "I am Viridian, last of the Keepers." Over the next hours, Viridian explained how his civilization had discovered the void, a dimension of pure energy existing between universes. They had built machines to extract this energy, solving all their power needs. For decades, they had prospered. "We did not know," Viridian said, "the void was inhabited." "By what?" Olivia asked. "Entities, not matter as you understand. Not energy as you understand. Something between. They consumed. First energy, then matter. Then," he touched his head, "consciousness." "Your people were attacked," Daniel said. "Consumed," Viridian corrected. "Billions. In days. We fought. Failed. Last hope was to seal breaches. Few of us remained. I stayed to watch, to warn." Jack felt cold understanding. "The beacon. You placed it to warn others away." Viridian's skin pulsed with dark colors that the humans instinctively recognized as sorrow. "Yes. But I see now. Warnings are not enough. Curiosity always wins." Viridian looked at each of them. And now you have come. As others will come. Others? Jack asked. Your people will follow. All species seek power. The void calls to those who listen. Jack sent their findings back to Earth as soon as the Helios could establish a connection through their long-range quantum communicator. The transmission included everything. Images of the ruins, data from the alien archives, and recordings of their conversations with Viridian. He expected caution in response. What he received instead was troubling. Priority transmission from Earth Command, Samantha announced one morning, 3 weeks after their discovery. For your eyes only, Commander. Jack retreated to his quarters to review the message. Admiral Garrison's face appeared on his screen, expression revealing nothing. Commander Mercer, your discovery is remarkable. The potential of this void energy could solve humanity's resource problems forever. You are ordered to secure the site and all related technology. The research vessel Artemis has already departed Earth with a specialized team to assist you. Continue gathering information from the alien subject. Command out. Jack sat in silence, rereading the message. No mention of the warning. No acknowledgement of the danger. Just excitement about the energy potential. When he returned to the bridge, Daniel was waiting for him. Sir, I need to speak with you privately, the security chief said, his expression grim. In a small conference room, Daniel placed a data pad on the table. I've been running background checks on that transmission. Something felt off. And, Jack prompted, the Artemis left Earth 3 weeks ago, before we even sent our first transmission about the void. Jack stared at him. That's impossible. They couldn't have known. Unless they already knew, Daniel finished. I dug deeper. Found classified files in our database that someone tried to hide. Earth has been researching dimensional energy for the past 5 years. They called it Project Threshold. Are you saying they knew about the void? About what happened here? Not exactly. But they were working on similar technology. Without success so far. They need what we found. Jack felt cold anger building inside him. They sent us out here as retrievers, not explorers. It gets worse, Daniel continued. The Artemis isn't just bringing scientists. They're carrying a military contingent and experimental equipment for large-scale energy extraction. They're going to try to reopen the breach, Jack realized. Over the next few days, Jack shared this information with his senior crew and Viridian. The alien was not surprised. It is always the same, Viridian said. The void energy blinds with promise before it destroys. We need to stop them, Olivia insisted. They outrank us, Nathan pointed out, and they'll outgun us when they arrive. Jack paced the room. We have one advantage. We're here, and we understand the real danger. Maybe we can convince them. The Artemis arrived a week later, a larger and newer vessel than the Helios. Its captain, Lisa Rodriguez, requested an immediate meeting with Jack and his senior staff. Rodriguez was all business, flanked by scientists and military officers as they gathered in the Helios conference room. Commander Mercer, your discovery is remarkable, she began, echoing the Admiral's message exactly. I'm here to take over the research operation. Captain, there's something you need to understand first, Jack replied. The void energy isn't just a power source. It's dangerous. The civilization here was destroyed by entities from the void. Rodriguez smiled thinly. Yes, we've reviewed your reports, including the testimony of this Viridian. But with all due respect, Commander, we have better safety protocols than a civilization from thousands of years ago. You don't understand. No, Commander, you don't understand. Rodriguez cut him off. Earth needs this energy. The resource wars have devastated 3 continents. Millions are suffering. If there's risk, it's worth taking. Even if that risk is extinction. Olivia challenged. Rodriguez ignored her, turning back to Jack. My orders are clear. Your crew will assist us or stand down. Those are your only options. After Rodriguez and her team returned to the Artemis Asterisk, Jack gathered his senior staff. What do we do? Samantha asked. Daniel's face was tight with anger. They're not listening. If they activate that equipment. Jack took a deep breath. Then we have a choice to make. Follow orders that may doom humanity, or stop them and face the consequences. The silence that followed told him everything he needed to know about where his crew stood. The Artemis team wasted no time. Within days, they had set up a research base in the central ruins. Despite Jack's continued warnings, Rodriguez pushed forward with her plans. Heavy equipment was transported to the planet's surface, installed in what Viridian identified as the original breach chamber. They're reinstalling the very technology that destroyed us, Viridian said, watching from a distance as the humans worked. His skin had turned a pale gray, a sign of distress, Jack had learned. Alan Morris, the Artemis physicist leading the project, had been polite but dismissive when Jack tried to discuss the dangers. Commander, I understand your concerns, Morris had said, but our theoretical models suggest we can contain any dimensional anomalies. The extraction process has been completely redesigned. Now Jack, Olivia, and Daniel watched from an observation point as Morris directed the final preparations. The chamber below them hummed with power. At its center stood a structure like an inverted pyramid, pointing downward into the floor. It looks different from the original design, Olivia noted, comparing it to Viridian's schematics. They've modified it, Daniel said. But the principle is the same. Tear a hole between dimensions. Breach initiation in 5 minutes, came Morris's voice over the facility's communication system. Jack's communicator buzzed. It was Nathan, who had managed to place sensors around the facility. Commander, I'm getting strange readings already. The equipment is affecting local space-time before they've even activated it fully. Rodriguez won't listen to us, Jack replied. We need to be ready to act if things go wrong. Below, the inverted pyramid began to glow. Energy coursed through it in waves of blue-white light. The air in the chamber seemed to shimmer. Energy levels rising, Morris announced, excitement clear in his voice. Breach point forming. A point of absolute darkness appeared beneath the pyramid. Not black, but an absence, a spot where nothing existed, not even space itself. It grew slowly from pinpoint to baseball size. We have successful void contact, Morris shouted. Cheers erupted from the Artemis team. Energy readings spiked on Olivia's handheld scanner. The power output is incredible, she whispered. More than anything we've ever measured. For a moment, Jack wondered if they had been wrong. Perhaps Earth's scientists had solved the problems Viridian's people could not. Then Alan Morris frowned at his instruments. There's an anomaly in the void signature. Something's. The darkness pulsed. The small void point suddenly expanded, doubling in size. Equipment alarms blared. Containment field holding at 82%. Someone called out. Energy fluctuations detected within the breach. Morris looked concerned now. Stabilize the field. Prepare for emergency shutdown. The void point pulsed again, growing larger. And then something moved within it. Something that wasn't darkness, but wasn't light either. A rippling, flowing presence that seemed to exist in dimensions beyond human perception. What is that? Rodriguez demanded, rushing to Morris's side. Unknown, he replied, fingers flying over controls. But it's generating its own energy field. It's counteracting our containment measures. Jack's communicator crackled. Commander, came Viridian's voice, tense with fear. They come. We must leave now. The entity emerged fully from the void, a shifting mass of not quite matter that flowed like liquid but moved with purpose. It hovered above the breach point, seeming to study its surroundings. Then it struck. A tendril of its substance lashed out, touching one of the scientists. The man screamed, not in pain, but in terror. Before everyone's eyes, he unraveled. His body didn't burn or dissolve, but separated into component parts that flowed into the entity, absorbed completely. Chaos erupted. Scientists ran for the exits as more entities began emerging from the growing breach. Security personnel opened fire, but their weapons had no effect. Bullets and energy beams simply passed through the void beings. Full evacuation, Rodriguez commanded, her voice shaking. Seal the facility. But it was too late. The breach was fully open now, a doorway between worlds. And what came through was hungry for this new reality. The evacuation was chaos. Scientists and security personnel from the Artemis flooded the facility as the void entities continued to emerge. Some didn't make it. Caught by the strange beings, they simply ceased to exist, their matter and energy absorbed in seconds. Jack led his team through side corridors, guided by Viridian, who knew the ancient structure better than anyone. They'd reached the surface to find the sky had darkened unnaturally. Energy discharges lit up the clouds like silent lightning. The breach is expanding, Viridian said, his voice hollow. Just like before. Survivors from both ships gathered at the landing zone. Rodriguez arrived last, her uniform torn and face streaked with dirt. Gone was the confident captain who had dismissed their warnings. She looked haunted. "We lost Morris," she told Jack, "and 12 others. The entities, they're spreading through the facility." "Can you close the breach?" Jack asked. She shook her head. The controls were destroyed. The entities seemed to target them specifically, like they knew. "They did know," Viridian said. "They remember. They learn. They adapt." The ground shook beneath them. In the distance, one of the city's tallest structures collapsed, its foundation weakened by the dimensional disturbances. "We need to leave," Daniel urged. "Get back to the ships. Warn Earth." "It won't matter," Viridian replied. "Once fully manifested in this reality, they can travel between stars without technology. Your world will fall as mine did." Rodriguez stepped forward. "I was wrong, Commander. I should have listened." Her admission shocked everyone. "But there must be something we can do." Olivia had been scanning the spreading anomalies. She looked up, her expression changing from fear to calculation. "The planet's core. It's becoming unstable from the breach energy." "Is that good or bad?" Jack asked. "Both. If it goes critical, the resulting explosion might collapse the breach." She turned to Viridian. "Could that work? Could a planetary-scale energy release seal the void?" Viridian considered. "Perhaps. My people tried weapons, but nothing powerful enough. A core detonation? Yes. The gravitational collapse might draw the breach in on itself." Nathan had been working on his tablet. "I could rig the Helios engines to trigger a targeted reaction in the core, but someone would need to place the catalyst charges at key points around the main fault line." "I'll do it," Rodriguez said immediately. Jack shook his head. "It's not your responsibility alone." "Yes, it is," she insisted. "My orders, my mistake. But I'll need help." They quickly formed teams. Rodriguez would lead the mission to place the charges, taking volunteers from both crews. Jack would coordinate from orbit, ready to trigger the reaction sequence. Samantha and Olivia would work with Viridian on a final task, perhaps their most important one. As the teams prepared, Viridian approached Jack. "Your people show courage I had not expected. Perhaps there is hope." "For survival?" Jack asked. "No, for memory." Viridian's skin rippled with colors. "My people are gone, but our warning remains. Now your warning must join it." Jack understood. Even if they sealed this breach, someone else might open another. The cycle would continue unless the knowledge spread. The next hours were a desperate race. Rodriguez's team battled their way through a landscape increasingly distorted by void energy. The entities seemed to be reshaping reality itself, bending the laws of physics around them. Buildings twisted into impossible shapes, matter transformed and recombined. In orbit, Samantha and Olivia worked with Viridian to build something unprecedented. a quantum beacon that could broadcast across the galaxy, carrying a message no civilization could ignore. "The charges are placed," Rodriguez reported, her voice breaking through static. "But we're cut off. The entities are everywhere." A pause. "You need to trigger it now, Commander." Jack closed his eyes briefly. "Understood, Captain. Your sacrifice won't be forgotten." "Just make sure it wasn't pointless," she replied. "Make sure they hear us." Jack gave the order. Nathan activated the catalyst sequence. On the planet below, energy surged toward the core. Viridian placed his forehands on the beacon. "It is time. Our final message to the stars." The bridge of the asterisk Helios asterisk hummed with tension as Jack watched the planet's surface through their remaining sensors. The void entities had spread across an entire continent, transforming everything they touched into twisted versions of reality. Near the original breach point, matter itself seemed to be breaking down into more basic components. "Core temperature rising," Nathan reported, his voice tight. "Rodriguez's charges are working." Samantha looked up from the communication station. "The beacon is ready. Viridian has encoded everything. The history of his people, the nature of the void, how to detect attempts to breach it." "Will it reach far enough?" Jack asked. "Further than anything humanity has ever built," Olivia answered. "Viridian's knowledge of quantum entanglement is centuries beyond ours. This signal won't just transmit. It will embed itself in the background radiation of space. Any civilization advanced enough to detect it will receive the warning." On the main screen, they watched void entities rising from the planet's surface. No longer confined to physical forms, they moved like living storms, distorting the light around them. "They're trying to reach orbit," Daniel warned. "If even one gets off planet." "How long until core collapse?" Jack demanded. 3 minutes, Nathan said. "But those things will reach us before then." Viridian stepped forward. "I must complete the beacon message personally. My consciousness contains knowledge that cannot be simply transmitted." "What do you mean?" Jack asked. "I will join with the beacon. My beam will become part of the warning." Viridian's skin pulsed with determination. "It is the only way to convey the true nature of the void. Through experience, not just information." Before anyone could respond, alarms blared across the bridge. "Void entities approaching. Distance 5 kilometers and closing fast," Daniel shouted. Jack made his decision. "Prepare to activate the beacon. Begin emergency launch sequence." He turned to Viridian. "Are you certain about this?" "Yes. My purpose has always been to warn others. This is how I complete that mission." Viridian moved to the beacon device. "When I am joined, activate the transmission and leave this system immediately." As Viridian placed his hands on the beacon, his body began to glow from within. His physical form seemed to dissolve, flowing into the device. The quantum transmitter pulsed with new energy, its lights changing to match the colors of Viridian's skin. "Transmission ready," Samantha said softly, watching the transformation with awe. Below them, the planet's crust began to crack. Massive fissures appeared, glowing with the heat of the destabilizing core. The void entities surged upward, sensing the coming destruction. "They'll reach us in 30 seconds, Daniel warned. Jack took one last look at the dying world. "Activate the beacon." Full power. Samantha pressed the final sequence. The quantum beacon hummed to life, releasing a burst of energy that rippled outward in all directions. The message began, not just data, but something more. Those on the bridge felt it pass through them, a sensation of knowledge and warning that went beyond words. "Core collapse imminent," Nathan shouted over the alarms. "Maximum thrust. Get us out of the system," Jack ordered. The Helios engines fired, pushing the ship away from the planet as the first void entities reached orbit. Behind them, the planet's core finally gave way. The implosion was silent in space, but the energy wave that followed lit up their sensors like a new star being born. The void breach collapsed inward, drawing the entities back like a cosmic drain. The distortion field pulled at the asterisk Helios asterisk, threatening to drag them back, but the ship's engines strained against the force. Holding together, Nathan reported as the hull creaked around them. Just barely. When the light faded, the planet was gone, collapsed into a dense mass of matter. The void entities had vanished with the breach that birthed them. In the sudden quiet of the bridge, Samantha spoke. "The beacon is still transmitting. It survived." Jack nodded, feeling the weight of what they had witnessed and what they had lost. "And it will continue long after we're gone." "What's the final message?" Olivia asked. "What are we telling the galaxy?" Jack looked at the empty space where Viridian had stood, then at the stars beyond their viewports, stars filled with civilizations that might someday face the same temptation that had destroyed two worlds. "The truth," he said quietly. "That power always has a price. That the void between realities holds energy beyond imagining, but also death beyond comprehension. That the void calls to those who will listen, and someone will always listen." He turned to face his crew, and that humanity stood at the edge of that void, looked into it, and chose to turn away. The journey back to Earth was long and quiet. The asterisk Helios asterisk moved through space at maximum sustainable speed, but even so, the trip would take months. The crew had time to process what they had witnessed and to prepare for what waited at home. Jack spent hours recording his personal log, documenting everything that had happened. He knew that Earth's military leadership might not welcome their return. They had defied orders, destroyed valuable technology, and would bring a warning no one wanted to hear. "Do you think they'll listen to us?" Samantha asked one evening in the ship's small observation lounge. Outside the window, stars streaked by as the asterisk Helios asterisk pushed forward. "I don't know," Jack admitted, "but they need to." The ship's systems had changed after the quantum beacon's activation. Subtle differences in power distribution, navigation calculations, and even life support functions. Olivia studied these changes carefully. "It's as if Viridian left something behind," she explained to Jack. "Not just in the beacon, but in our ship itself. A trace of his consciousness." "Is it dangerous?" Jack asked. "No. If anything, the systems run more efficiently. I think it was deliberate. His final gift to us." 2 months into their journey, they detected another ship following their course. Nathan identified it as the asterisk Vanguard asterisk, one of Earth's fastest military vessels. "They're hailing us," Samantha reported. On screen appeared the stern face of Admiral Garrison. "Commander Mercer, you've violated direct orders and abandoned your mission objective." "With respect, Admiral, we completed our true mission," Jack replied. "We investigated the alien beacon and responded appropriately to the threat it warned about. By destroying technology that could have solved Earth's energy crisis. By preventing an invasion that would have ended humanity," Jack countered. "We have full documentation of what happened. The void entities were real, and they would have spread beyond that world if we hadn't collapsed the breach." Garrison's expression remained cold. "You'll surrender your ship when we rendezvous and face a military tribunal. That's an order." After the transmission ended, Daniel approached Jack privately. "We could run. The asterisk Helios asterisk is faster than they think, especially with Viridian's improvements." Jack shook his head. "No, running would only confirm their suspicions. We need to make Earth understand." That night, as Jack slept, the ship's systems activated without human input. Screens throughout the vessel displayed data, records from the alien world, images of the void entities, Viridian's warnings. Then something new appeared, a message in simple text. Asterisk, the truth cannot be contained. The warning must spread asterisk. When Jack reached the bridge, he found his crew already there, watching in amazement as the asterisk Helios asterisk transmitted everything. All their records, all their experiences, to every communication relay in range. "It's not just sending to Earth," Samantha said in wonder. It's broadcasting on all frequencies to every human outpost and colony, and it's using Viridian's quantum techniques. They can't block it. By the time the Vanguard caught up with them 3 days later, it was too late. The truth had spread across human space. Citizens on Earth and the colonies were demanding answers. Scientists were analyzing the data. Military leaders were calling emergency meetings. As Jack surrendered himself to the boarding party, Admiral Garrison looked different, less confident, more troubled. "Is it true?" he asked quietly, away from his officers. "All of it?" "Yes," Jack replied. "Every word." "Then God help us all." Garrison turned to his security team. "These people are to be treated as honored guests, not prisoners. Earth needs to hear what they have to say." As they transferred to the Vanguard Jack took one last look at the Helios Its systems were powering down, its mission complete. But somewhere within its circuits, a fragment of Viridian remained, ensuring that humanity would never forget their brush with the void, or the price of looking too deeply into the spaces between realities. The warning had begun with a single alien beacon. Now humanity itself had become the warning, a species that had glimpsed the void and chosen to turn away, forever marked by what they had almost unleashed upon the stars.